What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Today I'm going to be showing you how to one-hit KO everything in standard format. It's actually a piece of cake. Let's take a look. Alcremie VMAX from Champion's Path has 310 HP and 2 awesome attacks. Adornment for 1 colorless energy allows you to search your deck for a Psychic Energy card and attach it to each of your bench Pokemon. And then G-Max Whisk deals 60 damage times the amount of energy you discard from your Pokemon in play. You can easily knock out the biggest Pokemon VMAX in the game, discarding 6 energy from play with a huge G-Max Whisk, dealing 360 damage. To back up our Alcremie VMAX, we've got Silvally-GX with its disc reload ability, allowing you to fill your hand to 5 cards once during your turn, which is very strong considering we are using Rose in this deck, which allows you to attach up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon VMAX, and then you have to discard your hand. So since you're going to be discarding your hand all of the time, it's very good that we get to reload our hand with disc reload. Another really cool combo that we can pull off in this deck is using Primate Wisdom Oranguru, which allows you to put a card from your hand on top of your deck. It's very good when you're getting ready to discard your hand. If you got a bunch of roses in your hand and you want to save one for later, you can Primate Wisdom, put a rose on top of your deck, then discard your hand, then draw into that rose later with your Silvally-GX. Another really cool thing this deck can do is utilize Latias Latios-GX, a pretty much never used tag team GX from Team Up. Absolutely incredible in this deck. Arrow Unit GX for 1 Psychic Energy allows you to attach 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way you like. And if it's got an extra energy attached to it, the Latias and Latios becomes invincible. So Latias and Latios, a great recovery option for this deck if you have too many energy in the discard pile. Now, as far as supporters go, we got 3 copies of Boss's Orders, the best gusting card in the game, 2 copies of Marnie just to give us some hand refreshers throughout the match, and 4 copies of Professor's Research, just the best draw supporter that the game has to offer. We've got 3 copies of Switch and 1 copy of Air Balloon. Air Balloon is nice just to give Ace of Valley free retreat throughout the game, but 3 copies of Switch, very good. Since our cakes are hefty, they got a retreat cost of 3. It's very difficult to get them in and out of the active position, so 3 Switch is very good. We got 12 copies of Psychic Energy so that we can always have energy in deck to use for Adornment, to put into play, and then to discard with our G-Max Whisk attack. And then 4 copies of Capture Energy because getting Pokemon into play is incredibly important with this deck. You want to have a full bench turn 2 so that you can Adornment and energy to all of your bench Pokemon, and the Capture Energy just really helps you to do that. We also have 4 copies of Evolution Incense just to help you get that Silvally and get that Alcremie VMAX on the second turn of the game. It's very important that you get the turn 2 Silvally, turn 2 Alcremie so that you can start using Rose as early as possible. And the Capture Energy just really helps you to find your type null, really helps you to find your Alcremie, and the whole deck just kind of works. This is the most pleased I have been with any of the Alcremie VMAX lists that I've been testing on stream. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream live Pokemon trading card game content every single weekday. Check out this Alcremie VMAX deck in action. Let me know, what do you think of Alcremie VMAX in the comments below. Going second against Scorch VMAX, we've got a good opening hand here. Start Alcremie V in the active type null on the bench, and we've got a Silvally-GX in our hand as well, so that turn 2 we can evolve and start using that disc reload ability to refill our hand. We've got another Alcremie for the bench, so that's definitely very strong. I don't want to data change away this hand super fast. You know, we would rather not, but Marnie is fine. We can go Marnie, and even though I'm getting rid of the turn 2 Silvally, I think getting an energy drop turn 1 would be very good for us, so we're going to go ahead and do that. See what our next handful of cards reveals for us, and as you can see, it's just a strong hand we've got Capture Energy on the active. We can go get ourselves another Pokemon for the bench, even another type null could be good, and we've already got 2 Alcremies down. It's just exactly where we want to be turn 2, so we can comfortably just pass, go for the turn 2 Adornment, and just get our board filled with energy. And then we're ready to start one-hit KOing Pokemon VMAX, dealing upwards 360 damage very easily with our Alcremie VMAX's attack. So I'm very excited about that. Scorch is a very funny matchup because your opponent can kind of get this big Scorch that can one-hit KO our Alcremies. We can get this big Alcremie that can one-hit KO Scorches. So it's definitely this battle of the VMAX Pokemon that are just one-hit KOing each other. We're going to see what my opponent has. They might remove my energy, go for a Radiating Heat, but they do have Welder in their hand. So they're going to get to accelerate a couple of fire energies from their hand to the Senti-Scorch. They have another fire energy. They could just go Burning Train, knock out my Alcremie. That would be pretty aggressive and would be a little tough for us to respond to, but that's fine. I think that this deck is very good at handling gigantic Senti-Scorches. Sure enough, they do have turn 2 Burning Train, potentially. Going Cherish Ball out of the deck. They've got Dedenne. They can data change as well just to see some more cards. And even if they get a VMAX, still going to be taking the knockout, doing 200 damage turn 2 with the Senti-Scorch. So very strong opening there for my opponent. Now, they do have 3 Welders in the discard pile now, though. So that's pretty good for us, them having so many resources down. And then I just got to make sure that I'm kind of streaming Alcremies back-to-back turns, and that that we can get us a third Alcremie built up. It's going to be the name of the game here. So I think this upcoming turn, the Silvally-GX top deck, that makes us feel very good, because we can go Evolution Incense, and we can just get ourselves the Alcremie VMAX, and then pretty comfortable just going Quick Ball here and get us another Alcremie onto the bench, attach the energy, and we disc reload to refill our hand, and hopefully find a couple more bench Pokemon so that we can Adornment for full effect. That would be very good. We got the Capture Energy and a Quick Ball, and I could Research. Research is probably good. I mean, we've got all these roses in the deck, you know, that's fine. So we're going to go here, and I can just put Boss on the other side. That's fine, because if I need Boss, we might want that just so that I can target down the Senti-Scorch V if it doesn't end up kind of remaining in the active position. We do have this Alcremie here. I've got Ordinary Rod. This is all well and good, ready to go. I don't need to play the Ordinary Rod yet. I can just Adornment for full effect. We're going to put 6 energies into play. And using Adornment for 6 energies, I mean, that's 360 damage worth of energies right there. Or for 5 energies still. But with the active, it's, yeah, we got 360 damage worth of energies just on board right now. So even if they evolve into a Senti-Scorch VMAX, even if they get the Welder Double Fire and get this huge Senti-Scorch VMAX, we're still going to be able to respond next turn. Even if they knock out my active, go to 1 prize remaining, I'm still going to be able to evolve into this Alcremie V here. It's one of the reasons we did not play the Ordinary Rod yet, because might need to Rose, evolve, and take a knockout on a huge Senti-Scorch VMAX. So we'll see if they got it. They have Quick Ball in their hand. But do they have the Senti-Scorch? Might have to Quick Ball for a Pokemon. Pokemon Communicate for the Senti-Scorch VMAX. Play we see quite a bit. So we'll see if that's what they're going for here. Do they have the Senti-Scorch VMAX? Pokemon Communication. Scoop Up Net. Looks like they just have to data change for it. No, they have the Pokemon Communication. So here comes the Senti-Scorch VMAX for sure. And then they do have just 1 Welder left in the deck. 3 Welders down. It's a little bit low on resources, but this Senti-Scorch is huge. So we are definitely going to be gassing the deck out, trying to respond to how big this Senti-Scorch VMAX is right now. That being said, if we can knock this out this upcoming turn, we are going to put my opponent in a situation where they just don't have a great response. They will only have to take 1 prize left, though, so if they just maybe Welder and then Boss, you know, if they get like kind of a 2-turn play there, they could make the dream work still. But still excited that we're going to get to knock out the Senti-Scorch. I mean, they have kind of really escalated the pace of this game by taking that quick turn 2 knockout on my Alcremie. Now turn 3 knockout on Alcremie VMAX. Back-to-back Welders, just perfect draws here. And look how big it is. 2 Heat Fire energies, 360 HP, dealing 320 damage perfectly to knock out the Alcremie. I've got 5 energy in play, soon to be 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to leave myself with 2. Still feels pretty good. I could shuffle maybe an Alcremie back into the deck. I don't necessarily need to do that, though. I think we're probably fine. I'm just going to promote this guy. And we've got the energy, we've got the Rose, we've got the Alcremie in our hand. So let's just make this thing happen. 2 energy in the discard pile. It's very strong as well. We're going to go here. And then I could use Primate Wisdom. I think I'm just going to put the 1 Alcremie VMAX back into the deck. just to have it. I can Primate Wisdom the Dedenne over. That's fine, so we can kind of draw into that. Or the Boss. Boss could be good because I can deal, you know, maybe 180 damage. Or I just Adornment again. And then so long as they don't have a 6 energy Senti-Scorch, well, yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what's my next play going to be. So we definitely are going to want to Rose this turn. That's a given. I think we save the... Saving the Boss seems fine. So we'll save that. Got a Marnie here. Not using the Marnie. Definitely just going to Rose. 2 energy out of the discard pile onto the active Alcremie. We've got the Disc Reload. Fill in our hand. Getting some more cards. We've got the Chaotic Swell. Love to see that. We've got another Alcremie VMAX. And we've got a second Silvally set up. I mean, this is just the whole dream here. We've got everything we need. Disc Reload again, which feels really strong. Also having the Chaotic Swell feels really good. G-Max Whisk, it's got to be 6. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 360 damage. 1 hit KOing the Senti-Scorch VMAX with the 2 Burning Fire energies. The Heat Fire energies, very strong there. And we're going to take our 3 prizes. So, interested to see here if my opponent can respond to this. If they've got that 4th Welder out of their deck, really hoping that they do not. That would be very good for us. Got 6 energy in the discard pile now. So I just have to finish off the game. And we are getting reset stamp. That's fine. We're a little reset stamp proof here with the 2 Silvallies. So we feel good about that. So we've got Rose. I can Rose again. Juice my board back up. And so long as my opponent, if they don't Welder this turn, they've got the Welder. So now all they're really going to need to do is find that game-winning Boss's Orders. They do have 2 Boss in the discard pile, though. So they might not be able to find that game-winning Boss. On my side of the field, I'm looking to probably just Rose. They also might not have the fire energy that they need. If they have Welder, they might have Welder but no fire. It's also a possibility. And maybe they're trying to dig for an out to fire energy in their deck with the Stellar Wish. We do have the Chaotic Swell. It feels very good to have the Chaotic Swell down versus the fire deck for sure, because Giant Hearth just is that card for them. So they're going to Great Catcher up one of my Silvallies. They only have 1 prize remaining, so it's definitely a little bit sketchy. But I don't think that they have it this turn. So I think that this next turn for us, we're just looking to potentially knock out the Jirachi. If the Jirachi stays in the active, maybe knock that out. They have to put just a weakness card energy there on the Senti-Scorch and pass. So we're feeling pretty good about this. I think we can see how many bosses. 1 boss down. Seems fine. My opponent doesn't have it right now. We know that. So I probably am just going to Rose to... And I don't really need to stack anything. I can stack the Eldegoss, kind of give us, you know, another out to a supporter. That's probably fine. So we're going to Primate Wisdom, put the Eldegoss top the deck. I don't really need these researches anymore. And to be honest, I would rather just thin than just give myself the guaranteed Eldegoss. I'd rather just get, you know, Latias and Latios out of the deck. That's fine. We're going to Rose first. We're going to accelerate 2 energy from the discard pile to Alcremie VMAX. And we'll just go with this other one here. I don't think that there's any downside of that. And then Disc Reload a couple of times and try to find a switch, maybe to get this thing out of the active. We do have the Air Balloon, which is cool, so we can do that. I can Capture Energy. I don't want to jam my bench, though, so we're just going to play here. We're going to burn the Evolution Incense and then just Disc Reload again. And obviously, you know, I'm kind of looking for the game-winning Boss's Orders this next turn. I could discard 2, so I think we're just going to discard 2 off this benched Alcremie. I don't need any of these Evolution Incenses anymore, so we can just grab this out of the deck. And then next turn, I should be able to knock out a 2 prize Pokemon with Boss's Orders. That's the idea. That's the idea. And if they bring the Senti-Scorch up into the active position, I can still use Rose, get 2 energy back from the discard pile, and attach from hand. And we're still going to be able to take kind of a commanding position. I think this seems fine. 1 from each. Knockout. And if my opponent doesn't have Gust or anything, we win the game with Alcremie VMAX. I mean, we're just taking huge knockouts. Back to back to back turns. 360 damage to knock out that huge Senti-Scorch VMAX. Now my opponent's on the back foot. And you can see we're just using Rose every single turn. Feels very good. Got the Welder 1 fire. Maybe they can use GMAX Inferno for, looks like 120 damage. Got the Tool Scrapper, but we just have the Rose, so this is it. I can actually just knock out the Senti-Scorch VMAX. We attach Rose 2 from the discard pile, discard 6, and we knock out another VMAX Pokemon with Alcremie VMAX. I mean, what a crazy, crazy deck. I mean, look how much damage we're doing with Alcremie VMAX here. GMAX Whisk, and we discard all these energies. 360 damage. Wow. And another Senti-Scorch VMAX bites the dust. Absolutely crazy. GG's to my opponent. That was well played for sure. Looks like I'm playing against a Lucario and Melmetal deck, and that is definitely a tough matchup for us, considering that Alcremie VMAX is weak to Metal, so they can one-hit KO all of our big cakes. That being said, doesn't look like my opponent has the strongest start. We've got Galarian Stunfisk and a Lily's Pokédoll over there. On my side of the field, I'm doing okay. We've got a Capture Energy. We can attach the Latias and Latios Tag Team GX. I've got Evolution Incense for next turn. I can go ahead and turn one of these type nulls into a Silvally-GX, start drawing some cards, and maybe have ourselves a good time. So that's looking okay for us. Now they do have energy on the Lucario Melmetal. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, but that's okay. We've got this going on here. We can go get ourselves the Alcremie. That's definitely the play, and then we kind of just wait and see what my opponent does this next turn. We do know they have a supporter in their hand. They quick balled away at Professor's Research. They're definitely going to be playing a supporter this next turn. I could just go and use, Evolution Incense, get myself, we're getting Marnie, so it's all good. I was going to say we could just evolve the Alcremie, go for Adornment, and try to load our board position. We also have the option to potentially use Aero Unit GX. If I can get a bunch of energy into the discard pile, that could be pretty good. It also makes the Latias and Latios invincible, which is very cool. So I think maybe we're going to go for it. Let's go here and, just maybe disc reload 1. See if I can't find an energy or something like that. And maybe discard 2. That would be kind of sick. We do have the Dedenne. So I think that is probably the play for us. We did change this hand and see what we got here. We do have another Silvally-GX, which is awesome. We've got the Cake, Alcremie VMAX, very good. And then I do have another energy I can get into the discard pile. So I think at this point, we probably want to just switch and use Alcremie VMAX, because I'm going to have just a ton of Pokemon here. So we're going to be able to, really fully load this board state. And I think we don't want the Eldegoss down. We're just going to want another Alcremie on the bench. So we're definitely going to do that. And then we can just reload again, just fill our hand up and see what we're looking at for the following turn. We've got Rose I can play right now for 1. A little bit disruptive. Honestly, I might not want to do that quite yet. So I think we're going to just Adornment, and we're going to accelerate energies onto all of our benched Pokemon. And then we're just chilling, ready to go. I mean, I've got enough energy in play to be able to one-hit KO a Lucario Melmetal. That's going to be a little bit intimidating, even if they come up with Lucario Melmetal and Full Metal Wool. My Alcremie VMAX, I've got the Rose and the energy attachment for next turn. We've got the double Silvally set up. So, I mean, who cares about metal weakness when your board looks like this? It's just absolutely incredible. And all of this kind of healing and tankingness, none of that matters, because we can just deal 300 damage, 360 damage very easily with this deck. And every turn that my opponent gives me to kind of, get more energy, we have a high chance of being able to maybe find a boss's orders out of my deck and just bring up my opponent's Lucario Melmetal or one of their Zacians or something like that, and just deal a huge one-hit knockout to it. So very crazy turn 2 we've got going on. We've got how many energy in play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 energy in play. Now, Zamazenta V is a little bit tough for our deck to beat, but interestingly, Sweet Splash, we can actually get a board state where we can use Sweet Splash. You can actually stop the Zamazenta V. If they're dead set on putting only Zamazenta V, you can go in with Sweet Splash and prevent the Zamazenta V from being able to attack, which is very interesting. So we do have this, and they do have 6 prizes on board. So I'm not terribly concerned about the Zamazenta V, because I've got 6 prizes here for me to take. Now, We could go for research. We could go attach 1 energy. I think I'm going to attach 1 energy and try to just disc reload, see if I find a boss. That'd be very cool. We don't. So the question is, am I going to research potentially, maybe find a switch and go for the Latias and Latios? That could be the play. So I think research here seems good. And I could go for the Aero Unit GX. We do find Swell and Air Balloon. So I actually really like this because I can retreat the active Alcremie and then bring a lot of this energy back into play with the Latias and Latios. So that's for sure what we're going to do. We're just going to go here, retreat. And then we also have 1 more Silvally-GX. I'm going to get rid of this Alcremie. That seems fine. Just kind of pare our hand down, and we could draw more cards with this disc reload. And we're going for the Aero unit. We're going to make ourselves invincible. I don't need any more of these Evolution Incenses. That's totally fine. And then we've got Aero unit. Going to bring a bunch of energy back from the discard pile. 4 energy. We get to load up wherever we want. So we're going to put, spread it out. Yep, we want 1 on this Alcremie. Want 1 over here on this Alcremie. And then we probably want 1 on each of the Silvally-GXs. And now my opponent's got to be looking at my board state like, dang, that Latias and Latios Tag Team GX Aero unit makes it invincible, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage. So that means that it cannot even be full metal walled. If they want to decrease my damage output this next turn, they can't do it because the Latias and Latios Tag Team GX is just building up our crazy cakes. 1-hit KO, ready to go. So the worst thing my opponent could do to me is they could gust up maybe Alcremie and full metal wall it, and then I would have to find another switch or something like that, or I'd have to find a Rose, which could be tough. We are down our Ordinary Rod, 2 Rose, and an Eldegoss here, so I do have to, play a little bit carefully, but I do have 2 Rose still left in the deck, and 2 Rose is still going to be a lot of juice for this deck. So we're going to see what they do. Now, a lot of players probably have never played against the Latias and Latios, so we'll see if maybe they try to do something where they attack, or maybe they're trying to go for the full metal wall on my Latias and Latios, maybe unaware that it is invincible to all effects of attacks as well, which would certainly be pretty interesting because I could just retreat into the Alcremie, take the 1-hit KO, they could bring up Zacian, and I could 1-hit KO that, and then, Gust, and then we 1-hit KO the Stunfisk as well to finish off the game. That's definitely our route that we're trying to take. It does look like they're going to go for the boss and the full metal wall on this Alcremie here, though. So the pressure is on. I do need to find a switch or something. And I think just going to be research here. Unfortunate because I do want to keep that boss's orders. But we do find the switch and an energy and another boss. So that's all very good for us. We could just go here and attach to this Alcremie. And then we're just going to G-Max Whisk. They have full metal wall and they have the goggles on and they resist Psychic. So I do have to do the full 6. We're going to discard, and we're going to go 1, 2. We're going to go 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we can take that 1-hit knockout on the Lucario and Melmetal, even with full metal wall, still dealing 280 damage, taking 3 prize cards. So we are definitely stoked to see that, and hoping that my opponent does not get the 1-hit KO in return with Zacian. It would be tough to respond. I can do it, though. If they bring up the Zacian, well, 4 energy. Let's see. I can get 5 energy. 5 energy will do it still because the Zacian has got the goggles. It's got the, the full metal wall effect. So 5 energy, 300 damage. We'll still take that KO. I just have to attach in Rose. So I do have to find the Rose, though, which is going to be probably the most difficult part of all of this. Need to find... There it is. Sure enough, we got the Rose right there. Very good. And they are building up that Zamazenta over there on their side of the field. So this is definitely getting down to the wire. Our Alcremie VMAX goes down, but I've got potentially the return knockout. I do need to find one of those capture energies out of the deck, and then I need to see if I can't finish off that Stunfisk for game. Probably going to have to utilize both of my Rose in order to do that. So certainly possible. We do need to be careful about decking out. I think here, let's just take a look at the deck, see what all do I have. I have 1 boss's orders left in the deck and 2 capture energy. I do need to find one of these capture energies. So we're just going to go for the Rose, and then we're going to draw some cards. And that's what we got going on. So we're going to go, use the Rose, get the 2 energy back from the discard pile, attach those there. And then off of the disc reload, I do need to find one of my capture energies in order to attach. We do find the capture energy, and I find the Rose, so that's cool. We could just go here. Actually, let's see, I do have to discard all of my energy, but I could Brave Buddies, right? And Brave Buddies knock that out. So, ooh, we almost clicked on. I have 3 switch in the discard pile. I believe we played 3 switch and 1 air balloon, and I think the air balloon is also in the discard pile. So that is all of our switch cards, which is unfortunate, but still should be okay. The problem is that I might have to get rid of my last boss's orders in order to make this play work. So I have to take the KO. I have to. It just is what it is. So we have to go here and take a look at the deck. Not a lot of cards left in that deck at all. So we could G-Max Whisk. We're going to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leave ourselves with 1 prize remaining. But my Oranguru and my Ordinary Rod, unfortunately, are down. So I can't put the boss's orders on the other side here. We do have 2 boss in my hand. So I think the goal is to potentially gust up the Stunfisk and get it into a position where, get it into a position where maybe my opponent whiffs the switch, and then I can use Rose for game. That's the way I have to do this. I can't, I can't Rose first because I'll get rid of my 2 game-winning boss's orders. And I only have this 1 Psychic and the 1... Oh no, they do have a 3 energy Zamazenta as well, so they are going to be putting the pressure on. We can see how many switch they have in the discard pile. They have just 1 switch in the discard pile. So if they switch, they go into Zamazenta here, they are going to be taking a huge chunk of my HP out, 260 damage, and of course Alcremie VMAX not capable of knocking this thing out. So they do have the Assault Tackle, and we have to hope that they do not have Switch, Mallow, and Lana in their hand in order for us to have a chance in this game. That's the only out we have. I could Rose. No, we can't Rose. Can't retreat. We're just stuck, so we have to go boss. Hope they don't have it. We have to go here, and that's it. I don't have any other out. Our deck is just void of resources. We go Dormant. Yep, it's just Marnie Capture there in the deck, so we can see, do they have it? Weakness, definitely an uphill battle. Still very close game. I mean, really just coming down to the wire here. Hopefully they don't have the switch. Take the knockout with Zamazenta B. They got Research. Oh no, they're going to see such a big chunk of their deck here. Switch, and there is the game-winning switch. They take the knockout. If they didn't find switch, we would have been able to knock out that Stunfisk V and take the win. Playing against Snorlax, my dear. I know them from the Twitch streams. We play against each other all the time. They've got this Eternatus VMAX Poison variant, so I'm stoked to see how we do against this. I know this deck has got Crushing Hammers in it. It's got a whole bunch of crazy stuff, so we are definitely a little bit anxious to see how this matchup ends up, especially since my opponent is setting up very strong, so that's definitely a little bit intimidating also. Now, we've got a good turn 1, though, so I am stoked about that. We can use Capture Energy, but first I want to Quick Ball. We're going to Quick Ball probably away the Rose. Seems fine. We can get rid of the Rose, and we're going to go just get ourselves the Alcremie. We can use the Alcremie Capture Energy here and get ourselves the Type Null as well, so we're going to grab that. Then we can use Primate Wisdom, stack the Research on top of the deck, and then Marnie to limit my opponent's hand to just 4 cards. And we're going to get to see a bunch of new stuff here. So this is all very good for us. We've got the Research. We've got the Evolution Incense. We're pretty much ready to go. I just want to get maybe 1 more basic Pokemon so to get out of the deck. And I could put a Psychic Energy into the discard pile. That wouldn't be the worst thing. And then we could have a pretty explosive turn 2. So I think I am going to go grab myself another Alcremie. Seems good. And then next turn, we're ready to go with the double Evolution Incense and Research. So we'll see if my opponent can knock out this Oranguru. They do have the Crushing Hammer. It's fine. We kind of know that the hammers are going to be a thing with this deck for sure. There's 2 of them down. It's pretty non-consequential hammer there, though, because I'm really just going to be going right back in. Here, we're going to get ourselves probably Latias and Latios. That's very risky to put onto the bench, so we don't want to put that down. We're probably going to put just another type null down. We're going to go Evolution Incense here. Get us one of these Silvally-GXs. Evolve that here so that we can draw more cards. Evolution Incense. And get us the Alcremie VMAX. And at this point, we're just looking for a switch. So we will just use the disc reload here to fill our hand to 5 and see if we can't find the switch. We do find switch. So that's great. We just go there. And then I could put the Rose onto the other side. Yeah, we're just going to go double VMAX. Seems really good. We're going to push the Rose to the other side here just so that we kind of constantly have that as an option. And then we're going to research. And that way we can maybe find one more basic Pokemon. Sure enough, we do get one more basic Pokemon. The Swell is like a little bit of a dangerous thing to put because it gives the Garbodor the ability to use its poison every turn. So we definitely don't want that. But, I mean, everything else just seems really good. So I think we're just going to go maybe Quick Ball away the Swell. Seems fine. And I do know that this deck does play Power Plant. So that's probably something that I should be a little bit, you know, apprehensive about. I should worry about Power Plant. Because Power Plants can stop the whole Silvally-GX train from working. But my opponent's not doing a whole lot. So I think we're going to be okay, just get one more Pokemon. And then, I mean, look at this board state. The board state's just phenomenal, right? So we're going to put this here, and we're going to burn this because we don't need it. We'll grab that just in case so I can evolve into this other one next turn. And then we just Adornment for full effect. I mean, we're just setting up absolutely beautifully here. Turn 2 Adornment for 5, like every single game. Our Alcremie VMAX in the active is feeling good. We're definitely into it. You know, if my opponent hammers another one of my energies off, I can just go for this play where I Rose, attach, and make it happen. But my opponent's just got to retreat. We actually just have a very strong turn here because I can just Brave Buddies. It's fine, you know, kind of inconsequential. So we're not terribly worried about that. We could just push the Rose to the other side, attach to the Silvally-GX, and then research, and then next turn we can Rose. I've got 2 energy in the discard pile now. We do find the switch, but Brave Buddies will do just fine for this situation that we're in to just knock out the Croagunk next turn in a situation where we are more poised to be able to knock out the likes of an Eternatus. But it does look like my opponent is finally able to find the Quick Ball, so they're going to be able to kick this deck into gear here. Got the Crobat. They're going to get to draw 6 cards. Maybe they knock out my Silvally-GX. That would be tough, for sure. I wouldn't be really stoked about that. But if they do knock out my Silvally-GX, I've got a really gassed up hand here that we can take full advantage of that energy in the discard pile, utilizing Rose and just taking a big KO on the Eternatus. So even if my opponent, if they don't have it, we'll see. You know, they find a supporter card or they find cards that they need. I mean, we do see that they're kind of going energy attached onto the bench. They don't quite have it yet. And that is just one of the tough things about playing the poison variant, unfortunately, is that sometimes it'll brick. It's just got really, you know, some really tough hands it can have. So we're going to not be bad, and we're going to switch first. We're going to go into the Alcremie here. And then we can put a good card on top of our deck. We're going to get this energy onto the active. Seems fine. And then we're going to put the Rose on top of our deck. All we really want to do is just Rose back-to-back turns at this point. So we're going to Rose and just get those 2 energy from the discard pile onto the active. And at this point, we could just draw more cards with disc reload. And we're just popping off, doing exactly what we want to do this game. Just perfect draws all around. We could put some stuff back into the deck. I think that's probably fine. We can put 2 Pokemon back in, just a Dedenne and a Latios in case I want it. But outside of that, we should just be chilling. So disc reload one more time. And we're going to get to G-Max Whisk for 4. So we're going to want to discard 1, and then 2, and then 3, and 4. There. Then we're going to deal 240 damage, go to just 3 prizes remaining. And we definitely have a scary board position to look at if you're my opponent. This has got to be kind of frightening. You just know I'm good to attach 3 energies per turn. We've got the Silvally-GXs up and ready to go, just using disc reload and just keeping us gassed up turn after turn. They do have another Crobat, so if they find the Eternatus VMAX, they're going to start spreading their board position out. It looks like Power Plant Marnie, so this could be tough for us. I do have 6 energy in play, so I can just knock out a VMAX for game. They have to hit a Crushing Hammer as well. They can't just... maybe they could take the knockout, though. If they take the knockout on this, that could be bad, but we do have Eldegoss, so I can actually still juice up this Alcremie. Even if we lose the 3 energy in the active, I could still get 3 more energy into play and still take a 1-hit KO on an Eternatus VMAX, even if they get the 1-hit KO, but it's definitely just going to be GG's here. We've got the 1-hit KO with Alcremie VMAX and the boss's orders in my hand, so we would have had it no matter what. I don't even need to attach. We just got 360 damage, 1-hit KOing Eternatus VMAX. Alcremie VMAX, just an absolute house of a Pokemon. Unbelievable. And that's it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, and of course, check out FullGripGames.com for all of the best trading card game singles. If you're looking for PTCGO codes, make sure to check out FullGripCodes.com for instant PTCGO code delivery. Supporting the shop at Full Grip Games directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. If you didn't already know, I stream 5 days a week on Twitch from 9 a.m. Eastern time till about the mid-afternoon. We've got a great welcoming community over there on Twitch, so make sure to drop by the Twitch channel and give us a follow, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where I stream every single weekday. Y'all take it easy and have a great day. Peace.